And
hello, and welcome to Not a Safe Space. This is Sabrina.
And Tabby.
Hey, girl, what's going on?
Not much. How are you?
Good. It's almost the weekend.
And we're on episode 8.
Yes, welcome to episode 8.
Yay! We survived a week.
I know, right? That means, it means it's been 2 months of download if we're downloading weekly. So we can say hello, happy anniversary to 2 months to our listeners.
Oh, are we going to do that? Are we going to be the friends that have like the friend anniversaries? And
I can't even tell you the month.
Yeah,
I can't tell you the month and year that Nate and I started dating. I always have to ask him.
I can't tell you when I got married. I have to remember. Oh my gosh. I have to like really think hard at what year we got married. And I only remember it because I got this plate that says 4/23/2016, best day ever. And it's right there in my living room. So when someone says, oh, how long have you been married? I go, 2016. That's my answer. Don't ask me to do math.
And didn't you guys forget one time?
Yes. So I think it was our first year. We had just moved into this house, and I was on Facebook just scrolling, having a good time. And then I looked in the memories. It said, oh, hey, you got married last year. And I went, oh shit. Like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. So I found Dion, and I go, hey, do you know what today is? And he goes, yeah, it's Saturday. And I went, no, do you know what today is? And he looks at me, and then his face drops, and he goes, oh, no, it's not. I'm like, yes, it is. And then he goes, did you have something planned? I was like, I didn't have anything planned. Did you have something planned? And he was like, we're trying to see who was going to be in trouble.
Right.
Well, thank God we both forgot. It was a beautiful day.
That's funny. So are you guys the kind of couple, do you celebrate like Valentine's Day over the top? Do you expect big gifts? And
No. Every day is Valentine's Day for us.
Yeah, I could care less. I don't want to get dressed up. I don't want to go out. I'm not expecting a big gift. If you'd like to buy me something, I'll go ahead and buy it myself. So that you miss the mark.
Yeah, for us, it feels too forced, and it just feels basic because everybody's doing it. Right. You get dressed up to go have this beautiful, gorgeous dinner and have this romantic experience, and then you realize everyone and their fucking mother is doing the exact same thing. There's no ambiance. It's you're fist fighting for the next table.
Right. And how do you feel about the dedications of love on Facebook on Valentine's Day? Me too. Me too, because look, it'll matter more to me if it was the random Tuesday in October that you wanted to confess your love for me on Facebook. That matters just because you were thinking of me. But because the calendar says you have to do it, and everybody else is doing it.
Exactly.
It makes me want to puke.
Exactly. I love it when I'm outside and I'm mowing the yard and I come home, or Dion comes home and he has a bouquet of flowers.
Yeah.
No reason. Just a bouquet of flowers. And I love that.
Yeah, just those small moments. That's what matters.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. So, hey, I did have a comment, concern, or complaint to read.
Yay!
You're going to kill me. Wait, good. This one comes from Sabrina114@comcast.net, a faithful listener from Jacksonville, Florida. Dear Tabby, please mute your phone while we're recording, because Sabrina kept checking her fucking phone the other day. So in episode 3, I'm listening and I kept hearing ding. First of all, you're a very popular person. You get a lot of emails. It was your emails going off.
What day was that?
It was episode 3. I'm just being an asshole. But I was listening to it the other day again for the second time because I think that one's pretty funny. And I kept going, what the fuck? And I'm checking both phones, and I was like, it's Tabby.
Yeah.
So I was just being an asshole.
Okay, nice.
I totally set you up for that one.
You know what? I don't care. Now I'm gonna. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fucking turn my phone up, and I'm gonna tell people to start text messaging me so you can all hear ding, ding, ding. Bitches, enjoy the ding. Okay?
Or just set up. You're so good at setting up those automatic blast. You can just while we're recording, just set it to annoy me.
Yes.
Ding, ding.
You mean like this?
She did not do that on purpose, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, kind of. We weren't supposed to record until after 2, so I had set myself an alarm.
Right.
Because I was resting because I don't feel good today. So now it's part of the reason why I'm in the hat. So it was just.
That's funny. And I was telling Tabby when we signed on, Tabby is the type of female that looks good in a baseball hat. Yep. We both have short hair, but you can pull it off, and I look butchy with it on. But you still look feminine and girly, and it's cute. I can't wear a baseball hat.
It happens. And I used to think I couldn't wear a baseball hat because I didn't feel like I had enough hair because my hair I don't have the long luxury locks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you can pull it off. Your hair and your face and everything works perfectly for it.
Well, thank you. That's very sweet of you.
You're welcome.
All right, that's sappy shit.
All right. Well, let's provide some good news. Provide all the platforms we're currently on right now.
Okay, so we are officially on Google Play. Of course, we're on Podomatic, and I know everybody hates that platform, but we're there. Mm-hmm. We are in the process of getting approved by Apple, so we'll be on iTunes. We are officially on Stitcher. Perfect. And not that I know what that is, but we're there. And then the other one was I submitted us to TuneIn.
Oh, Spotify too, right? We're on Spotify.
Yes, and Spotify. Yes. Thank you. I forgot about that one. I'm just submitting us everywhere, so you'll just find us randomly at different places.
That's right. Everywhere you look, not a safe space.
Exactly. Welcome to life.
Right? Yeah, exactly right. So, well, let's get into it and let's talk about Sin City. As you guys know, I just came back from 5 days in Las Vegas. I flew from visiting my sister and her twins to going straight to Vegas for 5 wonderful days in the Sin City. Mm-hmm. I met my girlfriend who is a single woman, and then me going by myself. So just the two of us. This is the first thing. First of all, I have been friends with Jamie for 20-something years now.
Okay.
And it wasn't until day one, Monday evening, while we're both in an altered state of mind, let's say, that we realized that we've never been drinking or fucked up friends together.
Okay, you guys have never been intoxicated together.
Not by ourselves. Because when we met, we were in high school, and I mean, I drank with like my girlfriends from softball and all of this when I was underage, but Jamie was always the good girl. And so I didn't do those things with her. I didn't smoke with her. I didn't do anything. So we're sober friends, and we'd go out and still act crazy, and people assumed we were big partiers. I can remember our ex-husband's friends. We ended up marrying. She married my ex-husband's roommate. So close little circle here, right? So they all know, my ex-husband's friends all know who Jamie is because we were all friends. But they all assumed we were drinking because we were so crazy. But the truth of the matter was we just never were. And then when we became adults, the only time we've ever drank together is in the company of my husband, her husband, our friends. So
Mm-hmm.
we've never been intoxicated alone with each other.
That's interesting.
We didn't realize that until it was too late.
Okay.
So as most of our friends and listeners will know, I'm going to make it very clear I am not a drinker. I don't drink. I gave up drinking. What's today? It is September 12th. So 10 months ago, I've been alcohol free since then. However, there are other things in Vegas that are legal, and maybe perhaps I indulged in some of that. So that's all I'm going to say on altered state of mind. So yes, Monday night, altered state of mind, now realizing that we don't have a grown-up to protect us.
You are the grown-up.
No. No, we weren't. And we were at the Stratosphere, so further away from our hotel, and it just dawned on me after we'd been having the same conversation for 40 minutes that we might be over our head and should probably Uber back to our hotel and get as close to home as possible. So we called Nate, got lost in the Stratosphere, couldn't figure our way back out because
Wow.
I know.
Really, it's not complicated.
This is the funny part though. There was they have meeting points for Uber. You can't just get picked up anywhere in Vegas. It's similar to like downtown Fort Lauderdale and things like that. So it said we had to go to the back of the Stratosphere, and we're standing in the front of the Stratosphere. And I said to her, I said, we have to go to the back. And she was like, there's no back. And she's yelling at me, really aggressive, because that's not in a mean way, but that's just the way she is.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, this says the back of, which means this is the front. There has to be a back. And my guess is it's going to be directly opposite of where we are, because this is a fucking circle. So she goes, you don't think people walk in this door and walk back out of this door? This is the back. Which, how do I argue with that? Technically, okay, she's right. But we're still in the wrong fucking place.
Is there only one door?
No, there was two.
Okay.
So we found our way to the back entrance or exit, and finally made our way back to the Cosmopolitan where we were. And from that night forward, we made our kind of rules of what we were going to allow to happen. Like, we realized, okay, if she was going to be drinking, if we were going to be doing that, we had to be in our hotel. Mm-hmm. Because Las Vegas is so big. And it's just,
especially if you wander off the strip.
Right. And well, even the strip, there's so much going on. There's people walking in every direction. There's these lights that are flashing everywhere. Strange people, wanting you to take pictures with them, that it's so easily, you can just keep walking and then be like, where the fuck are we now? How far did we get from our hotel?
You're right.
So we set our rules that night, called Nate, forgetting that there's a time zone difference.
Don't worry about that.
Right. So thankfully Nate was off because of the hurricane. So we called him almost every night to let Daddy know that we'd made it to our room safely. So that Jamie was convinced, first of all, somebody had told her about sex trafficking in Las Vegas.
Okay, I have to interrupt this for 1 second. All I can think about is the weekend. I think that you guys came down to the farm. Jamie came. I think it was 4th of July. And Nate was stuck in the trailer with you, Jen, and Jamie talking up at 3 a.m., losing your damn minds. And all I could think was poor Nate.
He got so mad at us that night, too.
He did. And so here you are in Vegas, where you get to go do all this stuff, and he's like, I can be home. We're like, no, y'all are calling him.
Yeah.
That poor man.
I know. Well, he's the only person. I mean, I can count on him. I know that he loves me. He loves Jamie. He wants the best for us. But we had him on the phone one time, and I'm surprised he didn't hang up on us because he wasn't even talking. It was just the two of us talking. And then I'd look down and be like, "Oh yeah, Nate, are you still there?" "Yes, I'm here. I'm here."
He was falling asleep.
He was, yeah. Yeah. So, what was I? Oh, so the sex trafficking. What do you
Yes.
think? What do you think the chances are of Jamie and I being sex trafficked? Trafficked? That's not even a fucking word.
I don't. Um. Yeah, probably not gonna happen. Love y'all, ladies, but no, I don't think you guys are the clientele they're looking for.
So that's what I told her, and she got so mad at me. I said, "Listen, you've aged out. It's the truth.
You,
Nobody wants to sex traffic. I'm 39 years old. I'm not in danger of being sex trafficked.
no, definitely not.
Jamie's 36. She ain't going anywhere."
Mm-mm. Nope.
She was so insulted. Literally for the next 5 days, if we ever spoke to anybody, she would ask them if they considered her sex traffickable.
Oh my god, that is awesome.
And then she would be like, "Well, this asshole right here told me that I'm too old to be sex trafficked." That's not even a word. How do I say that properly?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But here's my question. What did the random people say back to Jamie when she asked them this question? What was their answer?
A lot of them looked at us like we were crazy. And this is just in the middle of the day where we're of sober minds, everything. Just being our normal dumb selves talking to people. There's nothing better that I enjoy than to make people laugh, but for them not to know if we're being serious, but are we serious, and say these crazy things where they're looking at each other like, what are wrong with these two girls? So there's one couple that they were just cracking up. They did tell Jamie she was probably a little too old. However, there was still a place for her maybe online.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I said. That's a great idea. There's a great, on youporn.com, definitely a category available for us.
Right. Older women. There you go. Cougars.
Right. MILFs.
There you go. Perfect.
But
Hey, she can start her own website.
Right. Sex trafficking is not an issue.
No, it's not. Because I don't see, unless she creates a website that's like sex trafficking for MILFs.
Right.
Not quite sure how that would work out, but let's go with it.
If you're going to do that, we all got bills to pay. Just pay us. Which then makes us prostitutes or porn stars. So it's not sex trafficking. If I'm volunteering to go and you're going to pay me, I've aged out.
There you
Mom's
go.
got bills to pay.
Hey, all you need is a webcam and an internet connection.
Right. So there was a couple that we were talking to and laughing about it. All four of us were heading down to the pool that day. And that couple now, they rented, you could rent like a bed by the pool for $200 minimum. So you had to spend at least $200, but you got this big giant bed that you could lay out next to the pool. Great deal if maybe Nate and Jamie's plus one, or some of our girlfriends had gone with us. But just for Jamie and I to go, I don't drink, Jamie barely drinks. We both have had gastric bypass, so none of us are eating a lot. We wouldn't have spent $200. But this other couple, I saw them at the other end of the pool, and they got the bed, right? So Jamie and I had our chairs to the side, and then we'd go back and forth from the pool. So the guy came up to us at one point and was like, "Hey, you guys," we'd been there for about an hour, and said, "Hey, you guys aren't partying anymore." Because I guess he thought that maybe we were amped up on something in the beginning, but we weren't. We were just being stupid. But now we were hot and sweaty. So he was like, are you guys still partying? And I was like, yeah, we're still partying, whatever. Meanwhile, I'm drinking my bottle of water on ice or my Monsters on ice. And he was like, do you guys want some E?
What?
And I was like, oh, no, man, we're cool. We're cool. Are you sure you guys don't want to get turned up? And I was like, no, we're good, thanks. And so then he walked away. And Jamie looks at me and she goes, he was trying to sex traffic us.
Was it? Oh my gosh.
And I was like, he wasn't trying to sex traffic us.
Not even close.
Right. I said they thought we were funny. They're chilling by themselves. You could tell that they were a little bored. Like his wife kept looking at us like she wanted
to play.
Right. She wanted to hang out. And I said, but what he really should have done was been like, hey, listen, you girls want to come sit on our free table and eat our free food? Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you're all about.
Yeah, for real. Trying to get us to come in, hang out with them with E, not happening.
Not so much. And that's a bit abrupt. I mean, I know he kind of gave all the clues when he was talking to you before he said, are you guys still partying? Right? But you just don't go up to someone and be like, you want some E? I mean, who does that? I mean, you don't do that. I mean, normally that's you've partied all night with these people, you had a great time, you met up the next day, you party some more, and then in the middle of partying, they're like, hey, you want to bump this up a level?
Right.
Then we're going to. There was no foreplay in that offer, was there?
There was like no A to B to C. We went from A to E.
No, you went from A to fucking Q.
Right, immediately. So I text Nate again. First of all, it's kind of cool, right? Here we're old ladies. Somebody offered us some illegal drugs. But I text Nate and I was like, hey, we were just offered E, but we said no. And he was like, well, thank God. That's a good answer. So that was kind of exciting, I guess.
That is kind of exciting. I've never been offered E before.
No. Mm-mm. Then that next morning, so these are the two strangers that stuck out the most to me. I had to take a conference call at 6 a.m. Because obviously, so that's 9 a.m. East Coast time. So I went out into the lobby of our floor to have this conference call. And this guy walks up and you can tell he is high on something. Cocaine, something. It wasn't marijuana. He smelled of alcohol, but he was definitely high on something. And he got really close. I'm sitting at this chair and long table in the foyer and was asking me what I was doing. And I was speaking to him, but then he got a little too close and I asked him to please back away. And I said, maybe you should go to your room. It's 6:00 in the morning. You're still dressed. So, and I'm in my like glasses and pajamas and like I look like crap. And he was like, well, I can't go back to my room because there's people in there. And I was like, oh, well, what kind of people? And he was like, I can't tell you. And I was like, of course you can. You don't know me, and I don't give a shit. So tell me. So he was like, there's playmates in my room, and my friend's fucking them. And I was like, well, it definitely sounds like you should go back there.
Definitely.
And he was like, well, where are your friends? And I said, well, I don't have any friends. And I was like, but I have to take this call right now. You should probably go get some coffee, something, if you can't go back to the room. So he disappears, right? I'm on my call 20, 30 minutes. Now the thing opens back up, the elevator, and here he comes. He's got a Corona in his hand. 6:30 in the morning.
Yep.
So he comes back up and again gets in my space, and I asked him to please back away, and he goes, I just wanted to tell you that I really admire people like myself who are hard workers. And, I manufacture one of the top 3 shampoos in the world. in 8 major countries. And I'm just impressed with people like myself who have such great business minds. And I said, you're drinking a beer at 6:30. I'm on a conference call. I think you admired me. But I'm leaving now. Like, was that your pickup line? Well, first of all, he had to get in there what his business was, and then he's a big manufacturer.
Uh-huh.
But that he admired himself.
Mm-hmm.
What is wrong with men?
No, I don't think. You know, everybody has a line in Vegas.
That's
right?
it?
They have a line. There's always a line. There's always a, I'm something that I'm not when you're in Vegas.
Right.
So let me tell you what happened to me when I went to Vegas. I was 30, and I was with a group of girls for a friend of mine's 30th birthday. We're all hanging out. And one night, we're all at this bar, and we meet up this group of people, various guys, girls, whatever. And they were all from Tampa, Florida. And they were all doctors. I was like, huh, okay, that's cool, whatever, no big deal. Well, the next night, we go out and meet this guy, and I'm chit-chatting with him. And next thing he knows, he tells me he's a surgeon. I looked at him and I said, you're full of shit. I'm like, he's like, no, seriously, I really am. I'm like, no, what is there, a fucking doctor's convention going on I don't know about here? Because everybody's a fucking doctor in Vegas. Give me a fucking break. So he's like, no, I'm really, really, really a surgeon. I said, really? Prove it. Right. So this guy pulls out his, like, medical ID card. I look up, he tells me where he went to school. He shows me the security badge to the hospital where it says he's like basically a spinal surgeon.
Surgeon, yeah.
Yeah, he was actually telling me the truth. I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, well, do you want to go? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not sleeping with you, but that's cool, you're a doctor. I'll see you later.
Yeah, so that's a good point, right? So this is the part that I thought was weird about Vegas. I've been there once before with Nate. We did the Vegas thing. We stayed out all night long, like didn't go back to our room until the sun had come up one night. Obviously, I was, drinking back then. We had a great time. This is the first time I've been by myself with a single friend.
Right.
So typically, we have 2 friends that are now single, and my best friend's been coming into town almost every other week for the last 6 months. And we've been going out with her and, taking her out and letting her meet people and doing these things. And I don't mind that because normally my husband is with us. It's at, our local bar. Most of those guys aren't expecting to go home with somebody. I mean, let's be real. Right. But in Vegas, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has this goal to get fucked up, to win money, and to get fucked.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt very uncomfortable the first night out. No, maybe the second night. The first night out, I was pretty fucked up. The second night, because I don't think it's appropriate for me to be in that position. It's different. So when we go out in Jacksonville, Nate doesn't mind if he's on one side of the bar and me and Jen and Jamie are on our another side, and the 3 of us are talking to men, because I always wear my ring, and even if I don't, I have, my wedding ring is tattooed on my hand. But I'm the first one to say, like, no, I'm married. Yes, you can buy me a drink because my husband doesn't care, but you can also buy my husband a drink, which has happened 100
He's right
times.
over here.
Right.
Watching.
Right. And I don't mind helping our friends meet people either, because I'm more outgoing and talkative and don't mind going up to somebody and saying, hey, she thinks you're good looking. Why don't you come over here and talk to us? In Vegas, it's different because we didn't have a male companion with us.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, it's so big. that if we would have met, like, say, a group of guys and Jamie's talking to one, and then, now I have to play wing woman to this other guy whose intent is still to sleep with me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't have that conversation and keep an eye on my friend at the same time.
Right.
And that part of it made me very uncomfortable.
I understand. So when I went, I was not looking for a hookup. I was not going to have a hookup in Vegas. Sorry, not going to be that girl. Not going to be every other freaking girl that trucks through Vegas and has a hookup.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Or a guy, okay? So when I met someone and we were hanging out and we were chit-chatting and talking because he saved me from the stalker guy who was literally stalking me because I had to get another guy to get rid of the other guy. I told him, I said, look, I'm not interested in having sex. It's not on the table.
Mm-hmm.
If you're cool and you want to hang out, that's great. And if you don't, feel free to leave at any point. It's okay. Well, apparently he took that as a challenge.
Right. See, that's the other thing, right?
So he keeps talking to me and feeding me beers and all of this sort of stuff. And, my other friend was talking to one of his friends. And, next thing you know, we're in a casino and just chilling out talking. And it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And he keeps suggesting, why don't we go back to my place? Why don't we go back to my place? Because we were at our hotel at this point. And I go, no, I don't want to. But we could do it. I go, no. And he kept pushing it to the point where I was like, okay, you're a douchebag. And mind you, this is a surgeon. And I said, I'm done. I picked up my shoes because my feet were sore as hell. And I walked away from him. I just walked away. At the end of the night, 3 a.m., I left him with no opportunity to get any.
Right.
But he made that choice. I told him up front. I don't understand why men don't listen.
Well, because it is a challenge, right? And that's the way they see it, because they really believe that every person there is there for the same reason. And I think that most of them really are, right? So, especially if Jamie and I were going out together, it would be assumed. If I'm doing my part as her wing woman,
mm-hmm.
I'm talking to men knowing what their intent is.
Right.
Then for me to get offended, to be like, how dare you think I'm going to sleep with you? Well, of course they do.
Right. But, and mind you, I was there with a bunch of single girls as well.
Uh-huh.
Right? And a lot of the other girls went out and did have flings. And that's great. On you, have a great time. I don't care. That's what you want to do. But when I met this person, I said straight up front, I'm not looking for this. I'm not going to do this. This is not on the table. This is not an option. And I gave him an out.
Right.
And he's like, no, no, no. Oh, I know you don't mean that. Yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty fucking serious. Dude, do you not remember I just called you a fucking liar about your career and made you prove it to me? What makes you think I'm going to back down off of this?
Right, right. Well, you know why? Because a lot of women probably do.
Right.
Like, sure. Oh, no, I'm not that kind of girl. And then they're picking their panties off the bedroom floor, the hotel room floor later.
Doing the walk of shame.
Right. So that was the other thing I pointed out to Jamie, is that, like, she's checking out all these good looking men. And I told her, well, first of all, I told her I wasn't making eye contact with anybody. Because, that's kind of step one, right? You're looking around the room, you keep making eye contact with the person you want to talk to. I'm not doing that. Don't fucking look at me. So I literally was walking around like that.
No, you weren't.
To avoid
you look like a fucking puppet.
Right. Meanwhile, Jamie has I called it her mating dance, where she looked at somebody and then she was wiggling in her chair, and I was like, stop wiggling. I was like, I swear to God, if somebody comes over here, I'm going to kill you. Because we were sitting, like, at night, we would sit across from one of the bars and clubs, because I didn't want to go in there. We weren't all dressed up. But I wanted to watch the people coming in and out.
Okay.
I wanted to people watch what was going on. I wanted to hear the music. I wanted to play the penny slots and just watch. But Jamie was sitting in her chair, wiggling, just wiggling. And I was like, stop it. Stop it. Like, you accidentally just wiggled at this one guy who then just started circling. And he was this Indian guy. And she was like, I'm just going to tell him it was a communication error. I was like, it's not a communication error. You're wiggling. Body language is understood. All languages.
It sounds like two dogs sniffing asses is what it sounds like.
It's her mating dance. It's so cute. It's like a wiggle. It's a wiggle.
Sounds like the birds.
Right.
They clean up the area and then do this dance to attract the female. They're like, hey.
Right.
She's fucking wiggling in a chair. Oh my god.
So I told her, so she said something about like this group of like 3 or 4 good looking guys. Now, they're all dressed up. They all look ridiculous. They're in, sport jackets, blah, blah, blah. Let's be honest. They're fucking hot, like sweaty.
Oh, okay.
And they're over trying.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, don't you understand that they're as desperate to meet someone as this group of girls that are walking by? And she was like, you really think so? And I was like, yes. Why do we give men all this power of come notice us when they want the same thing that we do? And the funny thing is that these groups of people that were all dressed up, and it was never mixed couples. It was always groups of men with groups of single women wearing the smallest clothes that they could find, the tightest clothes, and the most uncomfortable shoes. Looking badass now. They looked hot. But they would just walk past each other. Or they would stand next to each other. And nobody would actually talk to one another. And so the chances of people actually hooking up in Vegas are very slim. Because nobody has the actual balls to say, hey, you're hot. I'm hot. You want to go fuck?
It kind of reminds me, when you describe it that way, of the middle school dance. All the boys are on one side, the girls on the other, and everybody's scared shitless to actually talk to one another.
It's exactly what it is. You're right. Like, we haven't advanced ourselves in how to approach the opposite sex anymore. And this is 20, 30 years later. We haven't gotten any better at it.
It's pretty sad.
It really is. And, if I didn't, so Nate and I met at a restaurant. We were in the bar section. I was with my friends. He was with his friends. We kept looking at each other. And my friend Randy said, look, either go do something or don't, but we got to fucking go. And I was like, all right, cool. So I wrote my number on a napkin and I gave the waiter who we knew, I said, hey, give it to that guy over there. And it just said, call me on it and my name. And so the next day he called me. We met up for drinks that next Wednesday. And like, we talked on the phone for the next 5 days. I invited him to my house that Saturday night for a neighbor's party. And we're hanging out for hours, right? And we're walking back to my house to go get more beer. And I just stopped in the road and I said, are you going to kiss me or not? And he was like, well, yeah. And I was like, all right, well, let's do that. I mean, come on.
I'm, not getting younger here. Come on, buddy. Pick up your pace.
But if not, I mean, if I never would have given Nate my number or the waiter my number, we probably would have never crossed paths again.
Wow.
It would have been a missed opportunity. Or that night, if I wasn't the one to say like, hey, I want this, let's do this.
Right.
It probably would have happened, but when? Like, why not just get to the point?
Yeah. Totally understand.
All those people spent all that money on outfits and everybody looked great. I felt like a bum out there compared to how everybody else was dressed, but they spent all this money and time on looking so great, but never actually talked to one another.
And you come up empty-handed.
Right. You're poor because you lost all your fucking money. You bought these $17 drinks And you didn't get any dick.
Right? And your feet hurt from the fucking shoes.
Right. Right. Why is that? Why do you think
Why
that
do we
is?
torture ourselves like that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm just saying I'm in my 30s and I am happy with my flats.
See, I struggle with flats.
Look, you have not broken an ankle and you don't have arthritis in your knees and ankles. So it better be a fucking good reason for me to be in a pair of heels. Somebody's either getting married or died.
True.
And trust me, somewhere in the middle, those shoes are coming off.
Well, see, that is something that I do. Is normally I'm riding around with a pair of Adidas in my car, and I'm going to switch them out at some point.
Exactly.
Or there's still this part of me that, for the love of fashion that I have, that I can't just wear flats all the time. But I also have, like, I already had my moment. I'm going to go put my fucking tennis shoes on.
Right.
Because who really dance in high heels?
Oh, I can dance in high heels. I used to dance in high heels all the time in my 20s, go out to the bar in my heels, dance. I used to be able to jump up and like booty drop in 4-inch stilettos. Not have a single problem.
Not me. I would totally my ass.
Yes, you would. I've seen you dance.
I know. So speaking of dancing, we also took a stripper 101 class while we were there.
Oh, what did you learn? Tell me. Nothing you already didn't know.
Well, so this is the thing. I don't consider myself sexy. So the whole class, I was like this Republican conservative weirdo, while everybody else, like there were some white girl housewives that were fucking working that chair and pole. And then I couldn't believe there was another group of like black girlfriends that were in there that I was like, oh great, they're gonna fucking kick our ass when it comes to popping that booty. They didn't know how to do it.
Really?
Yeah, which here I am just assuming like, oh, they got this part down. They were asking the stripper how to pop their booty. Jamie was taking it seriously and using it for confidence boosting on, how to feel sexy and do and she was doing a great job. But meanwhile, I'm just, I don't know.
You're just wiggling in the chair?
Yeah, I just couldn't take it. I don't find myself sexy like that. I'm very confident in who I am. I know that I'm a good-looking person. I enjoy walking into a room, but when it comes to being sexy, that shit makes me
uncomfortable. And then that makes you awkward, and it just falls apart from there.
It does. So I only did it for Jamie. She wanted to do it down here in Jacksonville, and we couldn't find a class to do it. And Jen was supposed to go to Vegas too, and then with the hurricane wasn't able to come. So it was actually supposed to be Jen and Jamie going.
Oh, okay.
And then I got stuck with it.
Yep.
I was miserable. Plus, I'm really long and trying to wrap around this pole. It's just, I don't know.
You should have just pretended the pole was Nate, but a little bit taller.
Yeah, right. Right. So that was, and then when we were standing in line for that, this lady, the theater had all kind of different shows, and the stripper 101 class was one of them. Mm-hmm. And there was this old couple behind us, and she said to her husband, "Oh, look at that, Stanley. I wonder what kind of women signed up for stripper 101." And we're still standing in this line, and we're supposed to be there at like 4, and it's already 4:10. So I whispered to Jamie, and I was like, "Did you hear what that fucking bitch just said?" And so then we're like making fun of it and making fun of her and her cranky old husband. And then the lady comes around, and she's like, "Who's in line for stripper 101? And Jamie and I looked at each other, and we were like, "We are." And got out of line, and I think Jamie said something like, "You stuck-up old bitch," as we walked away.
Did she hear you?
I don't know. I didn't look.
That's awesome.
I didn't look. That's, I can always count on Jamie to not hold back her feelings and say what she wants to say.
That's awesome. Love that.
So, yeah. So, let's see. Besides that, I think I have some notes here. I wrote down the rules of engagement. When we had talked about it before on how to keep women safe, we did,
Right.
after that first night, we kept to our rule of, okay, we're not going to partake in anything until we are in the confines of our hotel.
Right.
So during the day while we were out sightseeing, if we had theater plans, we went to go see Absence outside
Okay.
the Caesars. That was great. It's a great show. Obviously, Stripper 101. We jumped off the stratosphere. We wouldn't drink or do anything until we got back to our hotel, back to our penny slots, 20 feet from the elevator. So if we felt uncomfortable, we could just go back to our room. One night we thought we had stayed out late. It was like 11:30, and we're heading back to our room and heading back to the elevator. We passed these 3 young bitches that are all dressed up, and they're heading out for the night. And
Right.
we're heading in for the night. And when they walked past, I looked at Jamie, and she was like, fuck those bitches.
Oh my gosh. Isn't it funny how much it changes? Like when you're younger, you're like, I'm not gonna be like those old cranky women coming in at 11 o'clock. I'm gonna be out here, da da da. And by the time you get to that age, you're like, fuck those young dumb bitches. Guess what? I'm going in. I'm gonna comfy. I'm gonna get a good night's sleep. I'm not gonna have a hangover.
Right. I'm not going to feel like shit in the morning. We also did not buy into the expensive food in Vegas. So like I said, we both have gastric bypass. So we both brought a insane amount of snacks, beef jerky, protein, things that we need to get by, sweets for Jamie, crackers,
Oreos.
crackers, peanut butter, whatever it might be to fill in the gaps. But it doesn't make sense for us to indulge in $40 buffets or $45 meals.
Right.
When we can't eat that. So unfortunately, when I left, I felt like shit because we were eating the cheaper, grosser food.
Yeah.
Because Vegas prices are ridiculous.
They are. They're extremely ridiculous.
Right.
But I would rather order the expensive food than eat off a buffet. I'm just saying.
But what I read there is that the buffets there are insane. Kind of similar to the one that I went to in Abu Dhabi, where it's a higher end buffet, and there's a lot of what do they call it, like meat cutting stations and stuff around, so it's fresh food being circulated through the buffet.
Right.
I'm just going from blog posts that I read, so I'm not 100% sure. But what I read was that the buffets from 20 years ago are definitely high-end buffets.
Okay.
I just wouldn't know because I'm not going. I'm not spending all that money to eat food. I can't eat all of it.
Right. And nobody can eat that amount of food either. I mean, well, I'm sure there are people that can eat that.
I think that Sabrina could have done it.
Okay, maybe. But I'm saying $40 and I could probably only go back for seconds. Do you know what I mean? That's not worth it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we saw the only buffet that Jamie and I ever indulge in is the Golden Corral.
Oh my gosh, that place is disgusting. Nasty. Nasty. Why?
I don't know. I think the reason why is, and anybody who listens to this podcast that grew up in Virginia Beach knows, like, we got a Golden Corral off of General Booth Boulevard when we were in high school, and it was brand new, and that place was always busy. Always. And then when I moved down here, and they have to me, they have the best salad bar. I love their Chuck Wagon chili. Their fucking sweet rolls. When I worked at Geico, like, I would go to Golden Corral and buy the sweet rolls and bring it in, and everybody loved them. But when I moved down here, like, Nate calls it the trough, and nobody eats there, and they're always in bad parts of town, and Jamie still eats there in Ohio. She loves it.
Well, Jamie also eats a main part of her diet as Oreos.
She does love the dessert bar. Yeah, for sure.
Totally. I'm going to just say we had a Golden Corral up north where I grew up, and we went occasionally. And when I was younger, I loved it. I was like, oh, this is so exciting. I get to run around and get all this food, blah, 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 right? Now as an adult, I look at it and go, I don't know what's in that. I don't want to eat that. That does not look appetizing. That looks like slop. That's what it looks like. And let me tell you what I had today. I had Tabby's version of slop.
What is that?
So I made 2 packages of shrimp ramen noodles, and then I put frozen shrimp in them. Because again, I told you I'm not feeling good, so I needed to like help my throat and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I had some of that, and then realized I don't like the shrimp anymore, so I didn't eat the shrimp.
You don't like the shrimp, the frozen shrimp, or the shrimp that came in the container?
It doesn't have a shrimp that comes in the container. It was just the packages, not the cup of noodles.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You didn't like the shrimp anymore?
No, but I didn't like the shrimp anymore. I threw it out.
Nice.
I probably won't even finish the rest of the 6-pack that they make you buy.
Uh-huh.
Probably will not finish that.
You can save it for me, and I'll bring some hot dogs, some pork and beans, and make y'all some real slop.
Oh my God, that's disgusting. Feed that to Dion, okay?
Hey, for our listeners, you guys vote if Tabby should have to try it.
No, Tabby will not try it. So vote all you fucking want, because I'm not eating any hot dogs.
Oh yeah, you don't need. What about?
I don't eat hot dogs.
Is tofurkey a thing? Is that No, what's a tofu hot dog called?
I don't know, but I'm not eating it.
Okay.
I don't care. I'm not eating hot dogs. Fucking hate that shit. No, you don't understand, Sabrina. I physically cannot eat a hot dog.
Oh yeah, you told me that you were like gagging them up and throwing them up.
Yes, my stomach literally rejects hot dogs. I'll try to, if I take a bite, my stomach shuts down, my throat tightens up, and I have to spit it out.
Right.
It's kind of weird, but my body's like, don't put that nasty processed shit in here.
I love it.
But yet it lets me down the oodles and noodles. It's not very smart, I can tell you that.
Selective.
Very.
Selective. So, well, on the buffet thing and quality of food, we rented a car to drive from Vegas to the Grand Canyon, which I found out was not in Nevada. It's in Arizona.
Tell me you're kidding.
No.
You thought the Grand Canyon was in Nevada?
Well, yeah, everybody goes to visit it when they're in Vegas. Why would I think it was in another fucking state? It never even crossed my mind that we were going to another state.
Yeah, it's in Arizona. It's not in Nevada.
All right. So then we stop at. So I will recommend for anybody that goes to Vegas, if you have a day to get off the strip, to rent a car and go check out the Grand Canyon and the Hoover Dam. I did not want to book like they have buses and shit like that, but I don't want to be stuck on a bus. We would have had to get up at 6 a.m. and then it doesn't bring you back until midnight. So then you're stuck with people all fucking day. And I didn't want to do that. It was $30 to rent a car. So we rented a car. I asked Jamie if she wanted to see the Hoover Dam, and she said no, she didn't care what that was and didn't know what it was. And so then she asked me what it was. And I said, well, I don't know, but I know that they kept the Decepticons there for a little while in the Transformers, so I want to see it. So
then she wanted to see it because the Decepticons were being held there?
Right, so we went there, started seeing all kinds of fucking, like the Animal Crossing signs? Mm-hmm. They're all different in Nevada and Arizona. Like they're sheep horns or horn sheeps or something like that. And then these big fucking ram things. And then these giant deer, like insane. Now, of course, we didn't see any of them. And Jamie said, I'm really disappointed in the animal attractions of the Grand Canyon. Like they would just be fucking walking around.
Oh my God, Jamie, it's so special.
I know. The two of us together, listen, when we are actually like in the car talking and then trying to process something and figure it out, we're very smart in certain categories. And then
Okay.
in other things, not so smart. So we saw the Hoover Dam. It's a big giant dam. It was
Yep.
cool. Made for good pictures. Jamie brought a selfie stick, so now we're walking around like Asian tourists. Um, so then we go from there. That was like 30, 40 minutes outside of Vegas. Now we've got a 3.5 hour drive to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, geez.
We passed by a Golden Corral, and Jamie's like, "Oh, Golden Corral, we should eat there later."
No, you should not. I have a rule when we travel. So when we travel, we do not eat at a chain restaurant. It is against the rules because if you're going to eat at a chain restaurant, why are you going?
Right. I agree. We're the same way. Nate and I hate that. We hate traveling with people that just want to eat at a Burger King or a Olive Garden.
Right. Nope. No, thank you. And we've traveled before and people are like, oh, let's go eat here and did it. And we're going, no, we're going to eat somewhere local. If you want to go to Olive Garden, have fun. We're going over here. Let us know when you're done and we'll meet back up.
Right. Right. So we traveled to the Grand Canyon. I thought that I just wanted to go there and see it and then be done with it. But when we arrived, well, the car read that it was 64 degrees outside. Nate told us that that was wrong. No, Nate called us and told us that the weather was 98 degrees or one of the two of us were wrong. Either way, it was 100 fucking degrees in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
When we got out of the car in Arizona, when I don't even know what city we were in, it was 64 fucking degrees.
Yes.
So then we were freezing.
Elevation difference.
Yeah, Tabby has her hands up. So yeah, we were 6,000 something elevation is what the sign said.
Right, it's the elevation.
Yeah, it was, and plus they said it was monsoon season, which I didn't know they had monsoon season there.
Well, the Grand Canyon gets water. You can go whitewater rafting in the Grand Canyon.
We could see a little bit of water way down there.
Uh-huh.
We didn't see like a big flowing river, but I did see excursions for whitewater rafting there.
Yep. And you can do a helicopter ride in the canyon itself. Yeah. I wanted to do that, but it was expensive.
So you've been there?
Uh-huh.
What did you think of it?
I liked it. It was very pretty. It was very surreal. When I went with an ex of mine and her family. So we were already in Arizona at the time. So it was just a drive. We saw it, spent maybe an hour and a half there, very nice. And then we were driving back down and we came through Sedona. So that was really pretty.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, later that day, because Jamie's really funny about the way that she answers things. First of all, I've never known her to lie about anything. And so then we're sitting at the slot machines the next night or that night. And I'm like, listen, when you go back to Ohio and your coworkers ask you about the Grand Canyon, what are you going to say? And she goes, I'm going to tell them to look at my fucking Facebook. I took a lot of pictures. And I was like, yeah, but they don't have Facebook and they want to know. And she said, oh, okay. I'm going to tell them it was really pretty and it was big and they should go and look at it. And I was like, oh, well, what color was it? And she goes, tan and brown and some reds. And I said, were the rocks hard or soft? And she said, I don't know. And I said, well, you didn't touch it. Why are you asking me all these fucking questions? If you want to know, go. I was like, That's exactly what you're going to say to somebody if they start asking you questions.
Right?
About it. Is that she's going to be like, why are you talking to me? What? Stop asking me. Go check it out yourself. But what I thought was interesting was when I asked her if the rocks were hard or soft I mean, let's be honest, they're all probably hard, but because she did not physically touch them, she could not answer that question.
Right.
Which I thought was so interesting to show like the way that her personality is and the way that she answers a question. If somebody would ask me, I would have been like, you're a fucking idiot. They're rocks. They're hard.
Not necessarily.
Right, but because she didn't touch them, her answer is, I don't know. And stop asking me fucking questions.
Pretty much.
Which I loved.
That was crazy.
So
somebody asked me, I had someone ask me that question after I went, and they said, well, what was it like? And I said, it was like looking at a big fucking hole.
Yeah,
like,
how did that thing get made?
Fucking hole. That is yay.
Yeah, how did it get made?
I don't know. Quit fucking asking me so many questions.
I don't know either. This is the part where, a guided tour would have been useful.
Right?
Yeah, so we went and there's people everywhere taking pictures. People going, now there's rails on certain parts, but other parts there's not. And people are fucking stupid. And they're like hanging off the edge, climbing down. We saw somebody on like a peninsula jumping up so they could get a picture of them up in the air.
Right.
If they would have landed and rolled an ankle,
that would have been it. Yeah.
You would have been gone.
And then the park rangers would have been like, bye, Felicia.
Exactly. What do they do?
They're nothing. You mean the park rangers?
Yeah, I didn't even see any of them there. I mean, there's nobody telling you not to do anything. It's literally enter at your own risk and die if you want to die.
Right. It's craziness. You know, Instagram, what are they called? Instagram influencers.
Yeah.
And it's a risky business, taking those pictures.
It is, right? It is. So we were there with our selfie stick, took 2 million pictures of these rocks. And we did at one point, I said, let's just sit down and take it in. Like, it's pretty amazing looking. I think a lot of times we forget how beautiful our country is. Like, there are so many neat things that a lot of us don't get to see. So, I've grown up on the East Coast my entire life. I've never seen anything like that. It was really nice. I'd still prefer the beach, though.
Hey, everybody's different. And, for me, it's whatever mood I'm in. So I like the beach, and I really do enjoy the East Coast more than I do the West Coast. But I'd love to go to the Yellowstone Mountain Park, right?
Where is that? Montana?
I believe so.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Also, the mountain with the presidents in it, I think that'd be cool to see.
You mean Mount Rushmore?
That one. I think that one's in Nebraska. Maybe.
Is it?
South Dakota, North. It's something really fucking weird.
Okay, listeners, can you please correct us on where Mount Rushmore is?
It's definitely, I think, in one of the Dakotas, and I'm going to go with North Dakota.
All right, why are you going to go with North Dakota?
Because it's north. And it has mountains, that's my reason.
So South Dakota doesn't have any mountains?
I don't know. I've never been there. I don't know. We can blame Mr. Melito, who was my geography teacher in 9th grade, for this lack of knowledge I have.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe my parents, too.
You're like that Facebook meme. You cannot say, well, they didn't teach us that in school. No, they taught it in school. You just were too busy talking.
100%. 100%. I was the talker. Big surprise, right? That doesn't shock you.
No, not at all. And let
Yeah.
me tell you, right now I'm having a very difficult time because your voice is not matching the picture on my screen. So there's a delay. And I'm really trying to keep up.
Nice. Nice. What's wrong with my voice? I'm looking super tan, by the way.
No, there's nothing wrong with your voice. It's either your lips are moving before the sound comes out or the sound is coming out. But now you're just fucking faking it.
You sound like my husband. Are you faking it? I'm just kidding. He doesn't say that. He'd kill me if I faked it, by the way.
You're right. Would he know?
Oh, no, he wouldn't know. He wouldn't know. But I would never do that to myself. Look, I'm in it to win it.
Right?
I don't know why anybody would fake it.
No, there's no faking involved. But if I did, Dion would definitely know.
Oh, he would?
Oh, yeah. He knows. He would know.
Yeah.
He'd be like, no, 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 no. We're gonna, no.
That's funny. So yeah, I mean, that pretty much wraps up my Vegas experience. There wasn't anything crazy, wacky. It was fun to be able to spend 5 straight days with my best friend and have girl time. It was great to spend time with my sister beforehand. I think that more people should do that. And I always try to encourage Nate, like, he should be going off with his friends or like on hockey tournaments and stuff. It's so nice to just be me and not be a wife or a mom and be able to connect with a family member or friend outside of normal life.
Right.
So I really enjoyed that, and I just don't think I'd ever go back with just girlfriends again, unless we were all married.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, even still then, I mean, the men all just want one thing.
They do, and they're not going to care that you're married.
Right, yeah. Yeah, no. I was going to tell you, one time I was in Michigan, and on this work event, and so I met this person, and this guy came up to me later that night and was like, so, let's just cut to the chase, your room or mine? And I was like, what? No, this was the second night. And I was like, I'm married. And he was like, yeah, so what? So am I. And he was like, did I read this wrong? And I was like, yeah, you did.
Really fucking wrong.
Right. The only reason I talked to you is because the instructor matched us up as partners. Not because I was inviting you to my room.
Did you say this isn't fucking Fiddler on the Roof and he's not the matchmaker?
Right. Like, what? Okay, buddy. But for him to be like, ew, yeah, so what? I'm married too. Okay, well, I'm sorry for your wife.
Right. I feel bad for her.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was my Vegas experience. It was a good time. Not sure I'm truly into the Sin City, though. No,
not so much.
I think it looks great on Pinterest and all these other places, but I don't think it's for me.
I think it looks great on Pinterest and for 20-year-olds who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, good point.
Or unless you have a shit ton of money. Then you could have an entirely different experience.
But I disagree with that. So I was talking to a friend and client yesterday who had just went there in July, and they're millionaires.
Okay.
And he said gambling there is a waste of time. That the odds on the Strip are terrible compared to any other casino in the world. So unless you're going there just to spend money, don't expect to win money.
Oh, agreed. I'm not even talking about gambling. I'm talking about if you are someone who has a lot of money and you're going to stay in the finest rooms and you're going to go to the most luxurious restaurants and do all the expensive tours and see all the big shows, you know, the fine dining
Right.
entertainment sort of it is completely different than the 20-year-olds who spent all their money just getting out to Vegas and trying to, get someone to buy them a $17 martini as compared to the other person who's probably much older and successful and is doing something entirely different.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And we did go check out the old Vegas too, Fremont Street. Did you go there?
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool, but the difference being on the strip, the city really kind of regulates what kind of panhandling and stuff can be done there. And so they kind of hide their homeless people. Well, on Fremont Street, there's not that many rules, and it's kind of a free-for-all.
Right.
And so again, us being there, we walked up and down and just kind of seeing everything and being approached by different people and then realizing, okay, we should probably just get back to our hotel. Like, we've seen it, we're here.
It's
probably
awesome.
not the best place to hang out when we're by ourselves and it's at night. And so we left.
Okay.
But it was cool.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would like to go back to Vegas with Dion on a different type of trip.
Yeah, I could see like us going and checking out like the oxygen bar and the chill bar and going, because see, like if I go there with Jamie, yes, she drinks, but she's a cheapskate. So she's not going to spend $17 on a martini. And I feel weird going into a bar and taking up seats when we're not going to be paying the bartender any money. So there's no point for us to go there. But
Right.
if I was going with other couples where you, Dion, and Nate have no problem buying drinks that amount, then I can tag along as a +1. But
Right.
the two of us going and nobody's going to buy it, then there's no point in doing that.
No, and you're going to get shitty service because they're going to be like, they're going to tag you and they're going to not waste their time on you.
Right. Like, no, yeah,
they're
exactly.
there to make money.
Exactly right. So that's the end of my Vegas wrap up. It's kind of lame. Nothing.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
I mean, on the plus side, Jamie did not get sex trafficked. So that is a good thing.
But she was kind of disappointed.
I was disappointed.
Right. You should have heard us like quizzing Uber drivers if she was able to get sex trafficked. And those people were just like, I could just imagine what all these people were thinking.
That she's lost her damn mind.
Yeah.
That is what they're thinking.
Right.
Wow. That's insanity.
So one night the night that the hurricane was coming, we text Ethan because they were all still awake and said, because Ethan, Jamie, and I are in a group message together. It said, I think she wrote like, "Help! We're in a container. We've been kidnapped." But he has his tracking on me, so he could see that we were sitting in the casino.
Ethan was tracking you?
Oh, well, because I track him, he always tracks us. Always.
Oh, okay.
He has, it's kind of obnoxious. He doesn't use it all the time, but it's still there. Like, if he wants to know where we are, he just hits his iPhone tracker thingy.
Right. Okay.
So he didn't fall for the prank.
Damn. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, he didn't send for help.
No.
So.
Did you say, really? Why didn't you send for help? Don't you love me? Why did you play the mom guilt?
I know. No, I think we started talking over the speakers in our home. Hello out there, somebody help us. And Ethan said, because Lorelai and Nate had already fallen asleep, had asked, Ethan was like, "I'm pretty sure they were growling over the cameras that last night." I think we were.
Wow.
He said, "They must have been really bored." No, we thought it was really funny.
The bad part is I was thinking exactly what Ethan was just thinking. Here you are in fucking Sin City, and you're trying to play a prank on your son at home. Really?
Yeah. We didn't find it boring. We thought it was really funny. We were cracking ourselves up.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, hey, I mentioned Pinterest, and I know we have mentioned it a couple times on our podcast. And I think you posted something about like Pinterest fails on outfits.
Yes, I did.
So I wanted to get your opinion of Pinterest and how you use it, or if you use it.
I don't use it very often. Um, what I use Pinterest for is if I need a photo for something for like one of my marketing campaigns, I go there, or I go there for articles about podcasts. I definitely did that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And but stuff for like baking and all of that kind of stuff and outfits, I used to a long time ago, but I don't do it anymore. And the reason why is because I have all these gorgeous outfits saved on Pinterest. I ain't got a single one in my closet.
Oh, okay.
Not even close.
Mm-hmm.
What's in Pinterest does not become reality,
Mm-hmm.
which is sad.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I don't bother with it because I feel like I'm just doing this. I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And then I get bored. But then I keep scrolling and I can't figure out why. So then I'm like, okay, now I'm being mind fucked by the phone, so I have to put it down.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So how old is Pinterest? It's probably been 10 years,
At
right?
least, yeah.
Yeah, that it came out. So I use it kind of similar to you. I for like my trip to Vegas, I go in and Google itineraries for Vegas, what to wear in Vegas to get some ideas of, comfort or evening and all this other stuff. How to pack for Vegas in a carry-on.
Okay.
Same thing with like we have a trip. We're going to New York City for Thanksgiving, so
Right.
now I'm starting to pin, itineraries for New York, what to wear in New York City in November, since we're Floridians and not used to all of that.
Right.
I still pin. Oh, I pin nails all the time.
Really?
By the way, I got my nails done.
I can see that. I just want to
Jaguars.
let you know, do you see this? I have been
Oh my
picking
God, you're
at
killing
this
me.
one for an hour and 17 minutes now. And
Is
just so everybody knows, I am pointing my half-painted nail to Sabrina and driving her nuts.
I know. Is that shellac? Why won't it
Yes.
come off? Oh.
Yeah, well, because it's not coming off. It's slowly peeling off.
Yeah.
So that's why I haven't had my nails done, because I had shellac done so often that it made my nails so thin that they were becoming brittle.
Yeah,
And
that's what you had said. Yeah. So
so
that one's still stuck on there?
yeah, it's still stuck on there, some of it, but it's only the thumbs. Just these little thumbs right here. Just so
Oh
you
my
can
God.
see. Look at that. Look at me, Sabrina. Yay!
Mine are all done.
Yes, yours are all pretty and fancy.
Black and gold with
You
Jaguar
see, I'm
print.
nice.
Yeah, well, we can go with that or the Jaguar. See?
Oh, yes, I see the leopard print.
Yeah. So, yeah, I still pin nail ideas for different colors and patterns and all that shit. And I do pin outfits. And my outfits do end up in my closet because I use it for inspiration. So if I'm looking for, let's say, an outfit, I don't know, like when we went to the crew ball,
Mm-hmm.
and then I ended up with an emerald green dress, I then went to Pinterest to look at emerald green dresses to see how people accessorized
Okay.
their dresses. So I know that's so annoying and weird, but that's how I still use it. And if I find like a piece of clothing that I want, like I love white pants, I still wear white jeans all the time, then I'll look up outfits like white jeans during the summer, white jeans during the fall, white jeans with with knee-high boots, white jeans with ankle boots, and look up different outfits to then replicate in my real world. So I do use Pinterest like that. Now the house stuff, that shit's impossible.
Yeah.
I can't have an HGTV house.
No, look, here's the thing. You want to know what I want? I'm at the age, and this is going to sound really bad, but I would love to just have a personal shopper. Someone who goes out, picks out my outfits, organizes them. So all I have to do is go into my closet, pull out a hanger. It's all freaking put together. I put it on, and I go on about my business. I really don't want to have to think about it anymore. I am so tempted at one point, I'm getting very close, that I want to hire a personal organizer to come in and clean this shit up and organize it and, get me back on track. But I was having this conversation the other day with this lady on Facebook, and we were talking about she's a personal shopper. And we ended up talking about Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory, right? So if you remember, Sheldon had certain outfits he wore every day. This is my Monday outfit. This is my Tuesday outfit. This is my Wednesday outfit. Oh, if it's raining, I just add a jacket. But there was no deviation from his outfits.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember, he also ate the same type of food on those days, remember?
Right.
Like, I can't have Thai on Thursday. Thai's a Wednesday food. We don't, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And think about how simple life is like that. When you take out all these excessive choices.
Right.
You're like, it's Monday. I'm wearing this. That's it. Oh, does this go with this? How about this shirt? Do I look fat? No, I don't feel like you know what I mean? You save yourself a whole bunch of time. I wish I could be that dedicated.
I think that sounds sad.
Do you?
Well, I love clothes, and I am Jen uses me as her personal shopper. If Jen has trips coming up, we'll go to the store, or she'll pull out what she has, and she'll send me pictures of it and try it on, and then we'll go to the store together, and she'll try on certain things, and I'll say yes or no if I like it, or tell her how she could wear it. And then once she's done with that, there's always another trip back to my house with all of her outfits for those days, for those 5 days, that she comes over and we'll go through my jewelry, and then I'll help her match earrings and necklaces and everything to her clothes. And we've done that for years. And I do the same thing for my little sister, for like Jamie for Vegas. She said, listen, I'm just going to bring a bunch of shit, and then you tell me what works.
Okay. So what are you doing in October? Because I have 3 trips.
I will totally help you.
Yes, you need to come over for October. I've got a business trip. I'm going with Dion to Atlanta for a weekend. I have a trip. I'm going to Austin. And then from Austin, I'm traveling up to Dallas.
Oh, yeah. I'll definitely help you. I love to do it. And I actually I have a ton of clothes. I have a ton of shoes. You've seen how many earrings I have. I mean, I have a ton of shit, but I use it all the time.
See, and you know what? I've got this big jewelry box, and I've built a nice collection because, well, Dion's made me because he goes out and buys it for me. Mm-hmm. Look what I'm wearing. Look what I'm not wearing.
Right.
Nothing. I don't wear it. And I try, but unless I'm getting all dressed up or anything, I mean, mind you, I'm in a hat and a work shirt and all that, but I don't even have a watch on.
See, I always have a watch on.
Mm-hmm.
I normally always have a pair of earrings on. Whether they're normally I always wear like these little round silver studs,
mm-hmm.
That kind of look like, the shape of of a pearl, but they're sterling silver. Not to name drop, but from Tiffany's. That, by the way, I lose all the time.
That's horrible.
I lose them all the time. I'm convinced that they're lost all the time. I lose them for months at a time because I just take them off and put them somewhere. And then I happen to find them in my car, on my bedroom floor, in my bathroom.
So you do realize listeners are cussing your ass out right now, because we're not talking about some $15 pair of earrings from Target. We're talking about Tiffany's.
I know.
Fucking Tiffany's. Really? Really?
I know.
I'm going to be although those listeners are about to hate me because I don't like Tiffany's.
So I don't like most of their stuff either.
It's cheap.
Well,
they put a big price tag on it, but it's cheap.
So I wouldn't find it cheap. Like, these earrings I've had for a long time, and I've got a bracelet and a necklace to match. But what I will say is most of their stuff is the same pattern and design, and it screams Tiffany. Like, I picked the one that is not the normal chain and lock that they used to have 15 years ago that they still sell. Like, come on, change it up. Like, there's a difference between having like one custom look and the entire website being the same fucking thing for the last 15 years.
Right. Dion and I went there, just walking around, and we looked at rocks, just straight up, and I'm looking at him going, I can buy this over at Jared's.
Right.
There's nothing special about their diamonds.
No, I agree with that. You're right. Yeah.
And I know diamonds.
Right.
Because you've seen mine. I know my fucking diamonds.
Right. And the only way somebody would know that that was a Tiffany diamond and that you overpaid for it is if you were like, look at my engagement ring. It's from Tiffany's.
Right.
Because I'll tell you, those silver balls, I lost them for months at a time. So I went to Target and bought the same ones for like $8. And I wore those for a long time, and nobody knew the fucking difference. Because nobody knows that they're from Tiffany anyways. And then I lost those and found it once again.
There you go.
So, yeah, I think Tiffany's is a waste. I think that it's an iconic store that is a waste of money.
So I had read back probably 5 or 6 years ago this article where they're making man-made diamonds, and they are genuinely diamonds, not zirconia. I can't say it, but you know what I mean.
Cubic zirconiac.
That's the word.
Maybe.
They're actually diamonds. They're man-made. They take the oh my gosh, what is it? The protein, or the how they make diamonds. So they put the protein in there or whatever, and then they put in so much pressure and so much force, the same way that diamonds are made in nature, and it comes out the perfect stone. No impurities, no color unless you want it. I mean, comes out 100% clarity, everything, right? And they're cheaper. Like half cheaper.
Oh, wow.
And they look like a regular diamond. And I haven't heard much on it lately, but I thought, wow, that's smart. But it would take the diamond business out of mining. You would no longer have a Tiffany's or a Cartier, because, diamonds are supposed to be a luxury item, a rarity, right? But if now everybody's making them, they were going to lose their value.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because they were going to mass produce it. So what they were saying was, now where if you have an imperfection in your diamond, you know that it's not worth as much because of the imperfection. If this company had gone and still continued to create the man-made diamonds and it took over the industry, then now having imperfections would make your diamonds more valuable.
Oh, okay. Right.
You know what I mean? And I really wanted to invest in that company, but they were still a private company at the time. But it was really interesting.
Have they started selling them yet? Are they?
Yes. So there is a company called Blue Nile. And I believe
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've seen them online.
right. They sell man-made diamonds.
Right. Oh, I didn't know that
And
they were man-made.
yeah, they're man-made. Well, so look at it. If you were to find a 3-carat rock and they're only asking you for 4 grand,
Mm-hmm.
that's a cheap diamond.
Right. Yeah,
A
for sure.
3-carat rock would cost you almost 20 grand.
Yeah, if not more.
If not, no, that's just the rock, not including the setting.
Right. Right.
So, my big thing when Dion and I were getting ready to get married, I told him, I said, look, and I've said this all along, I said, I want one big rock. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. I don't need all the other jewelry throughout the years and the bracelets no, I'm good. I don't need it. Just one big rock.
Right.
That's it. And so I said, and I don't care if it's man-made, if we've got to go over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we ended up, he got my ring from my grandmother's ring. So it was passed down. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sweet. What do you think? Have you heard about people making diamonds out of their deceased family members' ashes?
I think it's kind of cool.
You do?
I do. I mean, as long as you love that person.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a neat way to have something with you, right?
Right. Um, my mom was telling me that one of her friends had a family member that died, and it was up in West Virginia, and they would take the body and plant trees with it or something like that off of a mountain or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, because I'd never heard anything like this before, I go and I said, so what'd they do? Just throw her body off the side of the mountain? Like, fucking animals are eating her right now?
In a compost heap?
Right? I was like, that's not very, special. That sounds disgusting. And then she had explained to me a little bit better, and I was like, oh, okay. Just throw the fucking body off the side of the mountain.
Right, right. Well, you would think you'd want it to be somewhere that you could go and visit, though.
No, it was supposed to be like donating her body back to nature or some shit like that. It was weird.
There's a lot of different things you can do now.
Like, you can put them at the base of a tree and plant a tree. So they'll become a tree.
Do you just pour the ashes in there?
I don't know. I don't know if it's ashes or compost. I don't know.
Or what?
I was going to say compost.
Yeah, right? I mean, like a mulching. What?
A
mulching
the breakdown of your body.
Right. Because, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I would think that there's more nutrients in a compost version of yourself than an ash version.
Oh my God.
And then whose decision is that, right? Is that a decision that the family member makes afterwards? Or do I get to say, like, listen, don't put me in a fucking base of a tree?
Well, I guess the same way whether you get buried or cremated, you can say what your wishes are, before you die. But let's be honest, after you're dead, what are you going to do? There's not much you can do at that point.
Right, they're going to do whatever the fuck they want. I'm going to end up in a cheap urn from well, I love Marshalls, but I'd be all right with that.
So let me tell you what I was talking to my mom about it. And I said, oh no, because she wants to be cremated. And she wants her ashes spread around Fredericksburg out of the back of a convertible. Okay. And I said, well, not all of the ashes. I got to keep some of them. She goes, okay, that's fine. And, she talks about haunting me when she goes. She's like, you're never going to get rid of me. I said, I know. You're going to come haunt me. And when you piss me off, I'm going to put your urn outside because you're misbehaving.
Right. Because really,
she died laughing. And I said, and if you really piss me off, I'm going to put a fucking lizard in there because she hates lizards.
That's funny.
Oh, she just died laughing. She's like, you're so wrong. She's like, but I like it.
That's funny. Yeah, I guess you really have no say in it. And so if she has a phobia, you can do
Whatever I want.
right, right.
I
So
told her spirit just better behave. That's all.
yeah, right. I always told my mom because she was such a crouchety old person always that if she ever had to go in an old folks home, I'd find one of those that showed up on Dateline that were abusing old people
Oh my god.
and put her in there because that's what she'd deserve after being 70 years of being a pain in everybody's ass.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
We'd send her to one of the bad ones.
So I told this to my mother-in-law, and I did not mean for it to sound as bad as it does. But when we were moving into this new house, no, mind you, I had packed up my house and got it ready, and I really packed up her house and got it ready because she was still working. And then we moved into the new house, and I had said to her, I go, this is the last move you make because the next move you're making, it's to a retirement home.
At least you didn't say the grave.
Well, yeah,
That's not bad.
but she looked at me, and Dion kind of looked at me and goes, no, she did it. And I'm like, yes, she did. I went, well, I didn't mean it to sound like that, but hey, you got the point. We're not
Right.
fucking moving again.
Yeah, we're not doing this shit again.
No, we're definitely not.
Yeah. Well, hey, so you were talking about phobias. I saw an article on Twitter that was trending, and it mentioned phobias, and it reminded me of you. So the new iPhone 11 is coming out.
Okay.
Which is a little bit annoying because you're an iPhone user, I'm an iPhone user. Apple comes out with a new fucking phone every year, which is kind of obnoxious because they're so expensive now.
They're extremely expensive, which
And
is ridiculous for a fucking phone.
Well, I guess knowing everything a phone does, it makes sense. I mean, truly, most of us don't need laptops or anything else anymore if we have a really good smartphone. However, the fact that they're coming out with a new one every year is a lot of money to put out. And I used to get a new one every year until they made the phone so big that I currently have like 30-something thousand pictures on my phone. And I simply don't want to go through the process of transferring them.
Oh, I hate the transfer process. Hate it. So I'm an iPhone user. Love iPhones. Hate Androids.
Me too.
They're fucking devil. Can't stand them.
So difficult.
They just don't make any sense. I like the fact that iPhones are user friendly. Right. Although I don't like the fact there's no fucking instructions for iPhones. Do you know what I mean? That that's a little shitty on their part, but you take what you get. But them coming out with it used to be every 2 years you got a new phone with them that came out, but now every year, and they want to charge you $1,000, $1,000 for a cell phone. There is nothing different between last season and new season. Right. I'm sorry. The only thing I do with my iPhone is I make phone calls, I text, I play on Facebook for my messenger, and I have my apps for my marketing. Right? That's it. There's nothing new on this new phone that's going to do anything different than this one. And the only reason I got the iPhone 10 was because my iPhone 6, that tells you how long I wait, was dying, like dead.
Right.
And Dion made me get a new phone because my battery was dying so quick. And I was like, oh, I don't care. I'll just plug it back in. Because $1,000, I can do a lot with $1,000.
Right. To me, it's just the pain in the ass of, okay, it's coming out right before Christmas, you get a new phone, and then a year later you have to go through the whole thing again. And so I have an iPhone 7 Plus, I think. And the only reason I have a 7 is because I was on a 6 like you, but something happened to it and they warrantied it out and said, we're warranting it from a 6 to a 7. Come and bring it to the store and we'll transfer your data. they collect it or take my phone, and they're like, well, it's going to take 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, well, I have another phone. So you go ahead and keep this one, and I'll be back in 6 hours. Because I'm not sitting around waiting to
Right.
watch. Because, you know, in Nate's world, he's like, well, do you really want all those pictures? Well, yeah, I do. I don't
And it
want to
doesn't
start
matter.
over.
6 hours. Nobody has fucking 6 hours to sit around and do
Right.
nothing with. And for me, I have to have all that shit because it's my videos, it's my marketing stuff, it's stuff that I'll end up reusing, and I can't lose that
Right.
content.
In my opinion, it's our photo albums, right? You know, the old school paper photo albums that when people would come over to your house and say, oh, you want to see pictures of Lorelai when she was a baby? You want to see, that's what this has become. So no,
Correct.
I don't want to put that on a laptop that I don't have with me all the time and not have.
Right.
So,
But by the way, Sabrina, we use laptops because we're fucking recording on one right now.
well, and that's why I got a new laptop for the first time in 12 years was because of this podcast.
Oh, you got a new laptop for
I
this?
did. Look at me.
Oh, I'm telling Dion, I want a new laptop.
Yeah, I got a brand new pretty one. It's touch screen, it flips, it does all this stuff, but all I use it for is this podcast.
Podcast.
Right. So the reason I brought up the new iPhone is because on Twitter it's trending that the new iPhone 11 has 3 different versions. And one of them is a Pro version that will come with 3 different lenses here
Okay.
for photography, a wide angle, a zoom, and something else.
Mm-hmm.
And that it is causing a big issue for, what is it called? Trypophobia, the aversion to irregular patterns or clusters of small holes. So there is a group of people in this world that is scared of strange clusters that make 0 sense, that it's not in a pattern, that it's, and that this iPhone is going to fuck with those people.
Can I buy one and run around with it?
Right. But this made me think of you because it's a phobia and you have a phobia.
I got a phobia of clowns and fucking mannequins.
And
I don't have the
mascots.
phobia of a fucking cell phone.
Well, it's the phobia of circle or irregular patterns.
That's
so
some crazy
weird.
shit. Okay,
Right.
look, you know what? I don't care. You know, I'm gonna just call. I can defend my phobia.
Well, that's what I wanted to hear. I was going to ask you, I know the answer. Do you have some phobias and what are they?
Okay, I fucking hate mascots. Hate them. Hate mascots.
And
They
not digital
terror-
mascots, people. We're talking about the ones in costumes.
Yes.
Walking
Disneyland is not a magical place. It is a landmine of terrifying events. I hate Disney.
I didn't
Mickey
even think
Mouse?
about that before for you.
Oh my God. So if I go to Disneyland, I'm on alert 24/7, like 365 degrees, because one of those little fuckers could come up at any point. If I see one walking, I'm like all the way over here. I get out of the way.
Now, is it the masked characters or what about the princess versions that you can see their faces?
I don't
They're
care.
fine.
Those are fine. It's the mask. I can't.
Like the Winnie the Pooh, Mickey Mouse fuckers.
Yes, I hate them. And you want to know why I hate them?
Yes.
Because you don't know who the fuck is under there. You don't. You have no clue. And I'm not saying anything bad about Disney employees, but you know, when you go to a fucking raunchy baseball game, you don't know who's in that mask. They could have taken the fucking homeless guy off the corner and been like, oh, go around and hug all these kids. Fuck you, get the hell away from me. I don't know who you are.
Now, when did that phobia start? Has it been since you were a kid?
Yeah, teenage years.
Yeah.
Look, what happened was I got on someone's lap, probably at like 12 or something, and his hand kind of went on my thigh, and it wasn't technically inappropriate, but it felt inappropriate,
Right.
and that was it. That was
Okay.
it. Never again. Can't stand them. Get away from me. Want nothing to do with you. You scare the shit out of me. As you saw at that baseball game.
Well, I didn't see it because I wasn't there, but the story I was told, this was about a year ago in July, that the baseball mascot, a shrimp, was it a shrimp?
A fucking shrimp.
for the Jacksonville Shrimp, came into the private room that we were, our friends were having a birthday party at, and the mascot, as they do, you know how they all follow somebody, started to follow you. And that's when everybody learned that you had a phobia of mascots.
Right. So it came in on the outside of the suite. I moved inside. And I started telling people because I was having a panic attack at this point. Okay.
And let me just interrupt you and say, before she tells the story, Tabby is not somebody to make a scene ever. She could easily be in a room and you wouldn't know. Like, she's not somebody to be flamboyant or loud or crazy. So this isn't you putting on a show or anything. So go ahead.
No. Because it came over to the outside, so I moved into the inside because I'm trying to just, okay, do your thing. I'm gonna stay over here. We're gonna be good. Well, then he came inside. I went outside, waited, and I had been telling people, guys, I'm having a panic attack. These things really scare me. Whatever. Well, our friend Doreen did not know this, and I don't know where the miscommunication happened because Dan sure as hell didn't say anything. So I'm outside, and then next thing I know, the door opens, and there's the shrimp, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and I'm like, and then he had gotten instructions to chase me. So I went running. I ran into a kitchen. I ran into employees, into a kitchen. Like, I fucking pushed them out of the way into a kitchen, and he didn't follow me in the kitchen, right? And I was like, I want your manager, and at this point, I'm in a full-blown panic attack. I am crying.
Oh,
like,
no.
I'm lost. I'm like, oh my gosh. So Dion found me. Dion's like, no, she doesn't need a manager.
Under the counter in the kitchen.
Right, pretty much. And then Doreen realized what happened and felt horrible.
Because she felt like an asshole.
Yeah. And I'm going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It took 2 doubles before I could calm down. And when we went home, I was like, I need some Xanax because I was fucked at that point. It was rough. And like everybody's like, are you okay? And comfort me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. And just, whew, like it's hard shit. Like I said, I could not stand it.
Yeah, I can tell even by your face the anxiety that comes from it.
I don't like them. I've I had a fear of birds, and I've gotten a little bit better with the birds. You know what I mean? I'm not nearly as scared as I used to be, but yes, I used to be terrified of birds.
So I'm scared of birds.
Yeah, they're the devil.
Yeah, I don't like them. I don't like them around. I think they're creepy. I think the way that they move are creepy. The way that they shift their patterns in flight.
Like this? Yeah.
Well, like when you see them flying and then they all of a sudden go, and they're all going up. It's fucking creepy. I think I had a 9th or 10th grade teacher that made us watch that movie, The Birds by Hitchcock. Yep. And I've been fucked ever since then. So you
birds
got
are pretty scary.
Mascots.
Birds.
Semi. You're recovering from birds.
I'm recovering from birds.
Clowns.
And clowns. Can't stand clowns. Because they kind of fall into the mascot category a little bit. I mean, granted, you can kind of see their face, but you can really alter your face with the makeup. And every time I see a clown, I don't care how happy he looks. All I can think of is Pennywise.
Oh, yeah. That's the one from It, right?
Yes. Yeah. And I just it freaks me out. Clowns are scary. So I was driving to work one day. This is out in Orlando. And there was this guy on a fucking moped with a clown mask on.
Oh my God.
So my boss calls me. He's like, hey, he's like, where are you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm almost there. Because it wasn't like me to be late. I was like, there's a guy on a moped with a clown mask on. And I'm trying not to run him over. I'm like, he's a clown and I can't see his face. So he's a mascot. And oh my God, I'm going to die right here.
Oh my gosh.
And it happened 3 days in a row. Same guy. Same. I'm like, I've been going to work here for 5 years, and now all of a sudden I'm going, oh my God, I gotta find another way to work.
Oh my goodness. Why was he dressed as a clown?
I don't know. Maybe to be a fucktard? Because by the time I got to work, I was already in a panic attack.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It's interesting how it's connected to the unknown of who's under there for you.
Oh,
that the mascot and the clown really could be anybody, right? Because like you said, in clown's makeup, they make themselves look like the happiest, most friendliest person ever, right?
right.
However, but in I was just going to refer to like an episode of Sons of Anarchy where it was the clown that had hurt and raped this little girl, but because they look friendly,
Mm-hmm.
it is the perfect disguise for somebody with bad intentions to be on. And we can't help but love on a mascot and hug on a mascot. And you should see Tabby's face. She's shaking her head no. But that's typically what people do. And what a perfect opportunity for somebody with bad intentions to...
Like a pedophile.
Right. Or
Yeah.
just creepy old fucker.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm not about... No. If I can't see your face, I don't want anything to do with you. Because I am not about giving someone power over me.
Right.
So if you can read my face and my expressions,
But
I can't see yours.
Yeah.
There's a power, and no, not at all.
Yeah. That makes complete sense. That makes a lot of sense. I like that.
Yeah, I don't like those things. They are scary. They are, no. Just no.
And I never thought about what a fucking minefield Disney World would be for you.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Especially like Magic Kingdom or one of the more kiddie ones where they have
those
all those
fuckers
things.
are everywhere.
They are. And I had to go there one time with a friend who was getting married. So we had to do this whole thing where we were supposed to take pictures with the mascots.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, the mascot has to be over here and he can't move because she's got to be in the picture and she won't be anywhere near that.
Right.
So they had to like keep the mascots away from me in this picture booth area.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh, any other phobias?
Outside of the normal, can't stand snakes and spider, but nothing they're not crippling like that.
But not like a true arachnophobia.
No.
Right? Yeah.
No, it gives me the heebie-jeebies, but whatever.
Yeah, like I don't want one fucking crawling on me or in my house, but I'm not gonna.
Not a fucking chance.
Right.
Right.
It's not the same a reaction that I have to birds. Like I don't want to be around them. I get creeped out. My sister and I were at her pool when we were in Dallas, and I noticed the chair that I was about to put my towel on had some bird poo on it. So I laid my towel over it, and there was a tree above us. And I could hear this movement up there. And I told her, I said, you realize there's a bunch of birds in there, right? And she was like, a bunch? And I was like, yeah, you can hear, like I could hear them. The creepy thing is you can't fucking see them.
No.
But they're all in there. moving
Okay.
around, and it freaks me the fuck out. It's
Oh, I
it's
bet.
fucking weird. And like at the beach, those seagulls are so fucking aggressive.
Oh, they are.
I'm worried about poking your fucking eyeballs out over
And
a
then stealing
Cheeto.
your candy bar.
Yeah, yeah. You know what happened to me one time? We were at the beach. One of those fuckers shit in my mouth.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it
So
did.
that's why you hate birds, because it shat in your mouth.
No, this was recently. This was like 2 summers ago. Uh, Nick and Jen and I, we used to do our beach Sundays. So we're sitting at the beach. The
Mm-hmm.
kids have fucking Cheetos, because we always had Cheetos at the beach. And there's all these fucking seagulls around. And Nick and I are sitting across from each other, and we're talking, and then all of a sudden, this thing happened. And I just stopped talking, and Nick stopped talking. And he was like, did that just happen? And I'm like that. Like, I won't move my mouth. It's so warm and salty in there.
Oh my God.
And he was like, did you just, do you have shit in your mouth? And I'm just like, yeah. My eyes are starting to weld up.
Oh my God, Sabrina.
I spit it out and then take, I think, Gatorade or something and start washing my mouth out.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, it was great. And then everybody's laughing at me that I got shit in my mouth.
Because you're a shit talker.
Yeah, salty shit on my mouth.
Okay, now I have to ask a very important question.
Okay.
Is it comparable to Nate's cum?
Ew. I don't mind that as much. That doesn't linger in my mouth.
Well, you never know. Everybody's different.
Right. I think, unfortunately, because I was frozen, I kept the shit in my mouth longer than I should have. The bird shit, I should say, people,
Right.
in my mouth longer than I should have.
Because I really hope you don't have Nate's shit in your mouth.
Right, or anybody else's. That I just didn't know what to do.
Right, you were just shocked.
Right. The good thing is, karma was that we were sitting there again, and then Nick got shit on.
Okay. In his mouth?
No, not in his mouth, damn it. But at least I felt
a little better.
Yeah, vindicated.
There you go.
So, but I haven't liked birds since high school. But that's the only true phobia I have. I'll run away from them and get as far away from them as I possibly can. But that's the only one. Unlike these, future iPhone users, that apparently these phones are going to trigger them.
And that's just sad. Because we're raising a bunch of pussies. Sorry.
I guess it's a phobia, right? It's no different than me not liking these tiny fucking birds that I find to be dangerous missiles in the sky.
Right.
So,
but you have a reason. It shit in your mouth.
Yeah, that happened decades ago. But that it's just weird that people have. So I wonder if our listeners, if you guys have any strange phobias, then we want to hear about them.
We do, and we want to hear about the experience that made you have that phobia.
Right. Yeah. And I want to hear if you've ever come across it, like Tabby did with the giant fucking shrimp chasing her at a baseball game.
Or Disneyland.
Yeah, or
everywhere.
Sit on by one.
Exactly. We want to hear your phobia stories.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see. I think I'm going to get the new iPhone, though.
Are you really?
Well, because my phone is getting old. I take it in the shower with me so I can play music when I'm showering. I play music 24/7 in my life. Like, before we podcast, I play songs to calm me down, to chill me out a little bit. I constantly have my phone on me. The new iPhones, like you have a newer one, right?
So, I have like the 10X whatever.
Yeah, so your guys' pictures are so much better than mine. And so instead of going to the 10, because I like pictures so much, it just makes sense for me to tell my husband to buy me the new Pro one.
Right.
So then we can use my phone and check to see if anybody has trypophobia. Trypophobia.
Trypophobia.
We can see if we can trigger it throughout the state of Florida.
But what's going to happen if you buy it and then you realize you have that phobia? What are you going to do?
I don't think I have that phobia because I'm sitting in front of an anchor that's got a tile mosaic on it. There's 0 fucking patterns.
And you're okay?
I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Okay. Yeah, I'm sweating, but that's my natural sweatiness. So.
That's because you're just so hot.
I know. No, I'm a sweater.
You are a sweater.
People will have to watch our videos and see how many times I blow towards my underarms.
Or you put the Monster can up to your arm.
I do.
You're like, that's so hot.
It's so hot. One day when there's a time that I do it a lot of times, many times, we'll offer a gift for somebody who can actually becomes a Patreon member, watches the video, and says how many times Sabrina blows or monsters her sweat away. So gross.
Yes, we will definitely have to do that.
It's no wonder why I don't find myself sexy. So, all right.
Oh gosh, girl.
I think that's been a fun conversation. I'm interested to hear what people have to say. Let us know if you've been to Vegas. Let us know if you're using Pinterest and how. And for God's sake, share your phobias with us. We want to hear about it.
Exactly.
The weirder, the better. Or if you know somebody with a super strange phobia.
Ooh, I like that. Give us the oddest phobia you have ever heard of.
Right. We want to hear about it. So, all right. Well, thank you to all our listeners. If you have any comments, suggestions, concerns, corrections, please email us at notasafespacepodcast@gmail.com. Boom. Nailed that one again. And as always, we love you guys and we'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.